They start exchanging more and more blows. However, for some strange reason, our albino is letting himself be hit because even though Choi manages to land his punches, they don't seem to affect Yumiya, allowing him to continue fighting without any problems. But in a moment of distraction, the captain of the Shursher Torin takes advantage and grabs Amila's jacket from behind to pull him and deliver a kick to his back. Despite connecting the attack, his rival instantly moves behind him, ready to deliver a massive blow that would knock him out. Just in time, Tamiyama dodges, realizing that even though he is landing his punches, they don't seem to cause any harm. The captain of the Windbreaker explains that Choi's punches are too light because he carries no weight on his shoulders. Choi doesn't understand at all, but he knows that if he keeps attacking, he will eventually fall. He mentions this and declares that he will keep hitting until Yumiya can't take it anymore. Unfortunately, every punch and kick Choi attempts to connect is blocked by Yumiya until, at one moment, Choi manages to unbalance him and lands a punch on his jaw. However, to everyone's surprise, Yumiya lowers his head, indicating that the punch had no effect. He reminds Choi that he already told him such light punches wouldn't hurt him. He then delivers a tremendous punch that knocks Choi to the ground. It was so strong that Choi couldn't move, but even while complaining about the pain, he slowly got up and told the Windbreaker captain that he would be freer than anyone else. He screamed at him not to get in his way. Despite trying to hit him, Yumiya either blocked or dodged easily. The smaller Choi kept repeating that he would have more fun than anyone else. But the albino didn't seem to think he was having fun at all. He told Choi that he didn't even know himself, which is why he felt unsatisfied and spoke of conditions he didn't understand, with a look of pity towards his rival. Yumiya explained that this was why Choi suffered so much and felt even more pity for the group led by someone like him. This enraged Choi, who launched into a frenzy, trying to punch him. Yumiya easily dodged and reminded Choi of the sad faces of his companions, telling him never to let them show that expression again. To make him understand, he delivered a tremendous punch to Choi's face. Tamiyama, barely holding on, still didn't understand which face he was referring to. He recalled images of his companions smiling in old photos, while in the present, he screamed frantically that he didn't know, had no idea, and yelled at Yumiya to shut up while tearing at his hair. Calming down, he coldly told the Windbreaker captain that he needed nothing. While in his empty mind, he thought everything was meaningless and that no matter what he did, things would always end the same again. He screamed desperately and launched a powerful kick at Yumiya, who quickly dodged and brought him down with a second kick, landing several punches on his face. Yes, our albino was letting himself be hit, not resisting or fighting back. This scene shocked Togame, who wondered what the Windbreaker captain was doing. The most desperate and disappointed, however, was our protagonist, who accused his captain of lying about not intending to lose, asking what he was trying to achieve by letting the other guy hit him. The fanatical wreck told them to shut up and just watch. At the same time, Choi stopped hitting, thinking he had secured the victory, but to his surprise, the albino wasn't hurt at all and even apologized, explaining that he didn't mean to push him to the brink of despair. He reminded Choi that if he succumbed to this and let it destroy him, everything would remain the same, but the Shursher Torin captain didn't want to listen and kept hitting while shouting for him to shut up. Despite this, Yumiya kept talking, which led Choi to bite his neck. Even then, Yumiya hugged him, telling him everything would be okay and that the true answer was within him. Hearing this and feeling the hug, Choi immediately pulled away and, while delivering a punch, admitted he didn't know what he was talking about. The albino then made him recall the previous fight between the Windbreakers and the Shursher Torin. In that instance, everything turned out to be a misunderstanding. A flashback showed the Shursher Torin members thanking and praising Yumiya for saving them. Little Chuji was very happy to hear that. Returning to the present, Yumiya reminded Choi that his punches were much heavier that day, asking what he had around him then and what he saw in front of him. As he stood up and approached his rival, Tamiyama, scared, told him not to come closer and kicked him, since it didn't hurt him. Yumiya gently grabbed his face and asked him to remember what he saw because that was all he needed as a person and a leader. He then delivered a tremendous headbutt that finally knocked Tamiyama out, ensuring the last thing he heard would stick with him. A flashback then showed Tamiyama's memories. He used to pet cats and, although he seemed relaxed, his companion reminded him that if he aspired to be the leader, he should take it more seriously. On that same day, he had a fight, but, being so absent-minded, didn't even know the location. The others laughed at his antics and how silly he could be, some even mentioning they wanted to see him at the top. Now, Choki realized he had never had more fun than that time and wished it could have lasted forever as he tried to find Togame. His memories turned into a chaotic mess. They have become so dark that now he can't even find his other companions. As he turns, he sees the dangerous one trying to repair the cracks in the floor, but when he tries to reach him, he falls, bringing him back to the present, where he finds his best friend in front of him. Though he asks why his friend has that look on his face, he already knows the answer. He is aware that he lost to Yumimiya, but despite that, with a smile, he tells his friend that he dreamed of the past where everyone smiled. He admits that it's been a long time since he had so much fun. He confesses to Togame that if the others laugh and have fun, he will too. That's why he asks his friend to smile. However, Togame can only apologize, acknowledging that he left him alone and never understood what truly caused his suffering. He also couldn't accept that his ideal was falling apart. Choi asks what he means, and Togame explains that his ideal was for everyone to love Choi, and as his best friend, he would be there to support him. Togame admits that he should have confronted him that day and stayed true to himself. He apologizes for not speaking to him earlier. With everything said, Tamiyama sincerely tells his friend that he truly believed being the leader of the Shirshir Torin would make him have more fun than anyone else. He also thought that achieving this would make him freer than anyone else, and his heart raced at the thought of what would happen. However, when he reached that place and fulfilled his goal, he felt empty and now felt nothing. Knowing he had to do something, but not understanding his problem, he started blaming others, believing he wasn't free or having fun because his group was weak. But he was completely wrong. Looking directly at his friend, he says, "You didn't take anything from me," admitting that he himself said he didn't want it. In reality, he had a lot of fun when they all did silly things together, but he now realizes, too late, that he had destroyed that freedom himself for a long time. He admits that if it weren't for his best friend, he would have nothing left. He mentions something Yumimiya said, "Don't make them have that look." Even though he hadn't realized it, he was sure his best friend had that look for a long time. Admitting it was his fault, Togame kept them all together. Now, in tears, he vows to protect him and everyone, apologizing again to his best friend because he can't imagine how difficult and painful it must have been. After crying for a few minutes, Togame helps Choi up, who mentions that now he will put an end to this matter. He approaches Yumimiya and, taking off his jacket, admits that he lost. So, today he leaves the Shirshir Torin to him. He asks Yumimiya to take care of everyone. Togame also takes off his jacket, but before he can, Yumimiya says he doesn't want the jacket or the Shirshir Torin group. He doesn't want to make his group bigger, as he finds hierarchies disgusting. Instead, he proposes that they remain new friends and consider today's fight as an event to strengthen their friendship. Amusingly, he thanks everyone for coming, which makes Choi laugh, while Togame is left very confused. Yumimiya then tells everyone that it's time to leave because the show is over, as if everything had been just a spectacle.